What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're doing well today. Today, I got something fun for you. We're going to be installing a set of carbonized camo carbon scales on my Demko AD20.5. Let's go ahead and get into it. This is pretty straightforward. I do have a video out there already on this, but I thought it'd still be fun to kind of share this with anyone who might be interested in this install. I always recommend Weehaw bits and tools. They are very well made, and those are linked down in the description at Amazon if you're interested in that. I might have to strip and re-anodize the scale this pocket clip, because you can barely see the blues and you see more of the greens. So I might be trying to get that green on here instead of the blue. But you're going to start by using a T6 to remove your hardware from your Demko. And the reason I'm starting with this side is because I'm going to have to remove the pivot completely. And I'm just going to do that by going one side at a time. Let me get this one out of here. I thought I was done, but I'm not. Come on, my friend. All right. I'll set that here since that is magnetized. Next, you're going to need a T10, and you're going to need to pull your pivot bolt out completely. And this is a Scout tool driver. I know I don't have my Griffin in here. I left it inside. Too lazy to go inside and get it. You can use whatever tool that you want. I recommend just pulling off the tension a little bit on your lock and sliding out your pivot carefully. You can see it's starting to come out already. And then what you can do is lay the knife down. I don't have it out quite enough. And just a little bit of pressure here, and you should be able to get a little bit more leverage to pull the pivot out all the way. The spring is going to push the blade forward. That's okay. We're not too worried about that right now. And hopefully, if you don't have tight tolerances like I do, your scale will come right off. But let's see if she will come loose for me. I don't think she's going to come loose for me. All right, let's see here. All right, there we go. Oh, is it separating? It is separating. I was hoping to avoid having to take the whole knife down, but as you can see, we're going to have to take the whole knife down. Let's work it from this side, because this is the side that it seems to want to. There we go. Now it's trying to separate from the other side, and I don't want it to do that. I don't want you to do that. I want you to separate on this side. You're just going to have to work it a little bit. My first ones did not have this much, this tight of a tolerance, but this one definitely has way tighter tolerances than the first model that I had with the AUS 10A. So I don't know what changed, but as you can see, just going to have to work the scale until you can get it off completely. Whew, that is some tight fitting there, boy. And then you go ahead and replace the scale with the new one, which has much more lenient fit on it. You will go ahead and install the one free bolt, because remember, this is the pocket clip side. T6 to reinstall this one. Nice and snug. Don't over tighten it. Really easy to over tighten that one with the stubby. The stubby really wants to move quite easily. We'll see if I can get this in. If not, we'll take it apart completely from the opposite side. But let's see if I can get this back in here without having to disassemble the entire knife. I don't think I'm going to be able to, because the bearings want to slide. But let me see if I can get it even close without damaging my skiffs. Oh, okay. They are cooperating today, which is nice. Let me check the other side. Yeah, look at that. Came together nicely. D-shaped pivot should face downward. All right, so to keep it flat, I'm going to leave the pocket clip off, and I'm going to go ahead and remove all the hardware from this side because this side needs to come out anyway. Whoa, come on there, friend. And just take your time, you know, don't need to rush. I'm moving a little quickly because I know that I am recording this video, but even I have to remind myself, like, I can edit and cut things when I need to as far as installing this. So now that that is all done, I am again going to just test to see if the scale would want to move on its own, and it does not. So I do have this really good, it's an adjustment tool screwdriver that I picked up from when I bought a set of shocks for my old WRX, and this came with it, and it's just been super helpful for stuff like this. Now, because I did remove the entire blade and the skiffs, I am going to go ahead and just reinstall the pivot now that I have it on this side. Make sure the D is facing forward, and it is a very tight tolerance, so I am working it in as carefully as I can. I am going to go ahead, since I am reinstalling the skiffs, just take advantage of this opportunity to go ahead and put a little bit extra fresh oil on them so that I know that they're very well lubed. I do really like the skiffs. They work very well, and they have really good tolerances on them. They perform really, really well, which I love. And you're going to have to put your thumb over the hole and just pull back a little bit on the blade. It should want to fall in place. There we go. And then just let it slide forward. The lock shouldn't shoot off anywhere as long as you're not like herky-jerky with it. Same thing here. We're going to just lube up the balls. That's what she said. And reinstall them on the knife. On the pivot, I'm going to dry my hands so I don't have anything slipping and sliding. Then you can take your scale. You can reinstall your scale. It should slide right into place. Then you can install your other scale. Grab your stubby bit driver or whatever driver that you're using. Grab your T6s. Go ahead and install the middle bolt. Once it's snug, stop, especially if you're using the stubby, because the stubby will put way more torque on it than you want. Go ahead and grab your pivot bolt. Reinstall the pivot bolt next. Snug that all the way, and then if it's a tight fit like it is in my scale right now, you might have to go a little bit past that. Check your centering. My centering is off, so I got to go a little bit deeper. There we go. A little bit more. There we go. Oh, came back the other way. I went too tight. Hold on one second. Let's bag it off just a smidge. Oh, I got blade play. Hold on. Let me loosen these up. Body screws. Loosen them up a little bit. Let's tighten this up till there's no play. Back it off just a smidge once you get no play. I mean, once you get snug. That's still too snug. I can tell it's way too tight. Back it off a little bit more. A little bit of play, so I backed it off too much. Put it in a little bit more. A little bit of play. But it's perfectly centered. Let me see if I can just put a touch of a wrench on it. All right, that moved. Still centered. Ooh, just the tiniest hint of play. All right, and I mean, it's just barely moving. Okay, no play. Smooth. Centered. No play. Now we got it. Go ahead and tighten these up by hand. Do not over tighten them. Just a little bit. There's so much hardware going on here. You do not need to over tighten them. Just a little bit. That actually could use a little bit more. Let me check it again. Yep, nice and snug. I am totally missing. There we go. Snug. No play. I mean, drop shut. Centered. No play. All right, go ahead and reinstall the rest of your hardware. If you're a righty, you will just put the screws in on the show side here with the blade facing towards your left side if you're holding it like I am. All right, perfect, perfect, perfect. Install your last hardware bolt, and then when you're done, reinstall your clip. I am not going to reinstall my clip today. I am actually going to strip the blue off of it, and I am going to go for the green because I have more green showing than I do blue. So I think the green is actually going to look better. So what I'll do here in just a moment is splice it on, and if you want to see that, you'll see how that came out. If you don't, thanks for tuning in on the install of the fat carbon camo scales from Carbodize on my Demko AD20.5. And if you're hanging out, we'll be right back so I can show you what this is going to look like after I clean it and anodize. All right, if you stuck around to see the blue clip stripped, here it is. We're going to spray a little bit of rubbing alcohol on the cloth. That was actually probably too much for this tiny little clip. Whoops. Better safe than sorry, I always say. Make sure that it's completely clean and devoid of any of your stripping agent, regardless of what you use. I always think this is, I did stick it in the electrolyte bath as well to try to, getting stuck there, sorry, prevent it from having any of the stripping agent still on it. But I also take some rubbing alcohol across it as well and make sure that it is good and clean, so that way it'll dry. And while we're waiting for that to dry really quick, and hopefully you stuck around for this, I actually meant to take just a little bit of mineral oil and treat the scales with it to protect it, hydrate the fibers. I recommend doing this every 6 months or so, just to make sure that they are, you know, well taken care of. You want to make sure that they are in really good shape. And mineral oil is a great way to do that. And it should wipe completely clean from the knife, so don't worry too much about that either. It is food safe, so if you food prep, you don't have to worry about that either. But just to show you how easily that'll wipe away once the scale absorbs it some, there you go. So you'll see it'll dry here a little bit on its own. We'll stand them up that way, I guess, since it's being kind of a pain in the butt. And if you're doing it every 6 months, if you miss a little nick here or there, or a spot there, here or there, shouldn't affect it too much. I'm just trying to get it all off my gloves before I pick up the pocket clip for the anodizing, just to make sure that I'm not putting any type of coating on it. We'll be right back to clean that off. All right, so it's a little bit of a drabber green than what's on the scales, but I think it'll accent it enough. So let's go ahead and reinstall the scale. Or should I go back and change it to a light green? I'm just going to leave it like that for a little while. I'm going to rock it like this for a little while and then decide how I like it, because it's not quite the same type of green, but it doesn't look bad. So let's go ahead, get this. What the heck? Don't do that to me, please. Oh, where are you trying to run away to? Hold on. There we go. There we go. All right. Okay, so there they are installed. You got the little bit of green going. I might try at a later time to take that green down, strip it again, and take it down to like a lighter green. I went up to 50, but at 45 it was looking a little funky. So I might leave it like that. I might go back and try to get a little bit more of a vibrant green, but I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, do me a favor, leave that like. And thanks to everyone out there that regularly likes, comments, and is subscribed. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you have a fantastic day. Until next time, peace.